Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Coming up, I get two scrumptious new knives. I ask you, what's your best high value, or you could read that as budget folder? And then we're joined by Marcus Williamson of MW Steelworks. You've seen me talk about the Merlin fixed blade pocket knife that I recently got from him. And he's going to come on for a little bit, and we're going to have a little chat, a little meet and greet. Speaking of meeting and greeting, Nick Martino, great to have you here, sir. The first one in. Hey, John, it's a pleasure. Your sheepdog is on the wing, coming back to you, sir. Hello, Michael. Great to have you here, sir. I just want to say, before we really kick things off and I do a pocket check, I just want to mention the fact that today is Jim's birthday. So I want to wish Jim a very, very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jim. Hey, Clayton, great to have you here. I know you will join me in wishing Jim a happy birthday, as will you, Dave. I'm going to smoke this cigar in his honor later. I'm just, on days like this, you reflect on how, what people kind of do. Like Jim has been invaluable to me in my life. I'd say over the past 10 years, we've been buds, and then we became friends, and then we became partners in this. And I love you, Jim, and thank you so much for everything you do here. Happy birthday, and many happy returns, as they say. And let's just hear it for Leos. It's August, and Leos are, look at this. We got people raining in the happy birthdays to you, Jim. So happy birthday. Leos love to celebrate themselves. And that's what we'll be doing in a couple weeks. On Saturday, the 21st, we have the Bob and Jim birthday bash right here on the Knife Junkie podcast. And as it turns out, there are a lot of knife folks who will be joining us who also have August birthdays. We have Laren Thomas. He'll be joining us. His birthday, I believe, was August 1st. I think I missed it at this point. And then we will have Carrie from Off Grid Knives. I think John Demko will be joining us. Not sure when his birthday is. And then Marianne and Les might be joining us from Three Rivers Manufacturing. But what I do know, they were so generous. They sent along some giveaway stuff. Now, giveaway is going to be a big part of the birthday bash. Finch Knife Company might be joining us, but I know that Spencer is going to be sending a knife my way, a Finch Knife Company knife, to give away on the birthday bash on August 21st. It says time to be determined. I'm pretty sure. Well, I got to talk with Jim about this, but I'm leaning towards 1 or 1:30, so that people on the West Coast can sleep in, but not too long, and then we can kind of get the ball rolling. But I want to show you real quickly some of the stuff that Marianne and Les Halpern from Three Rivers Manufacturing sent, and then we'll get to the pocket check. But very, very cool. Firstly, I'll put these under the knife cam. They sent a really nice mug, Three Rivers Manufacturing. That's their little dog. So cute. So cute. He's got an atom or a neutron in his hand, not sure which. So we have that to give away. We have a cool TRM patch to give away, with the Velcro back. Very nice, very nice. They sent a titanium logo keychain, very nice slab of titanium. I bet that this is not an inexpensive keychain. Sent that along, very grateful for that. Check this out. They sent a cool little elephantine multi-tool / beer bottle opener here. It's called the Hextar. So they sent that. Very cool. These will all be different, separate giveaways. And then look at this. This is nice. They sent a $65 pair of micarta TRM Atom scales. Very, very nice in beautiful green color. And then lastly, look at this. These are hard to get your hands on at this point. They sent a pair of purple G-Carta Atom scales to give away. So do you have a TRM Atom? Maybe. Do you have the G-Carta scales? Maybe not. They're very hard to come by, very limited releases. And when they do put them out, man, do they sell out quickly. So here we go. We got 2 sets of scales. We got Hextar and titanium. We have a logo keychain. We have a patch, and we have a coffee mug. We'll be giving these things away, plus a Finch knife, plus Shane Gables is sending us a what the hell is that called? A Sea Dog from Off Grid Manufacturing. So another knife to give away, and then Joe Knife Whisperer is sending some stuff. We got some swag coming from Off Grid Knives. I will be giving away 2 knives that were gifted to the channel by Dave, this Old Sword Blade Reviews. Dave, I know you're watching. Thank you very much, sir. This is what we are doing with the Civivi Dogma. Such a cool knife. Such a beautiful clip point blade shape and very thinly ground. Just an excellent, excellent knife. Hey, Hag, great to have you here. And then we'll also be giving away this Harns Harvest. One of the smoothest knives I've laid hands on in ages, and it is a man, Harns. I didn't know anything about them until Dave sent me this knife, and man alive, is it smooth. So we'll be giving these knives away, and a Finch, and much, much, much more right here on the Bob and Jim Knife Junkie birthday bash on August 21st, probably at 1 or 1:30. I will be advertising that. So definitely join us, please. Ben, great to have you here. Check that out. Jim, Ben, very generous of you, sir. Thank you. Enjoy a round of drinks on me, fellas, says Ben with a $20 super chat. Man, thank you. That is very, very generous, and I know Jim thanks you as well. Ben, it's great to see Jack Wolf right up there on our screen. As always, it's on the back of my car, back of my wife's car too. She loves that logo. She has an affinity for wolves. Okay, so a pocket check. Let's do a quick pocket check here. Where do I begin? Today I'll begin with the quill. As usual, I am carrying the Wingard Wearables quill. I just love this thing. It sits in my pocket, never stabs me in the leg. I was worried about that. This thing is awesome. It is a worry stone. Actually, I'm creating a list, and I'm going to make a video compiling all the different things you can use this for. And every day I feel like I come up with something new. I love this thing, this forged piece of steel. Awesome, awesome little thing. And it is a weapon-y type thing, but it is so much more, as I have discovered. Second, these are the 2 scrumptious knives I said I got. I can't wait till State of the Collection to show them off. And I was carrying them today. So in the spirit of full disclosure, I'll show you what I was carrying. Firstly, a TRM Atom with G-Carta scales and DLC coating from Marianne and Les Halpern. Thank you very much for this. Fantastic. It wasn't a gift, but with the price break they gave me, it was practically a gift. Now, they just came out with a small batch of these DLC coated blades, and right next to the TRM USA, you can see 2 dots etched in the blade. And those 2 dots mean that this has a blemish. You can see a blemish in the DLC right there. Yeah, just hardly anything, but not up to their standards. So these are seconds. And they gave me a screaming deal on a DLC coated Atom. Atom is the one model by them that I have. I have another one that's really awesome. And then I was oohing and eyeing. She was just recently on, we interviewed her just recently. That show will be up in a couple of weeks. And I couldn't stop oohing and eyeing over the G-Carta scales. And so she took the hint and put them on the knife that she sent to me. So beautiful. And these G-Carta scales have a real, like, they almost feel like velvet. It's really odd. I mean, there's a really fabric-y feel to these. And it's really sumptuous and luscious, I got to say. Luxurious, I think is the word. And a cool thing about the DLC they put on these blades is in certain lights, it looks like uncoated steel. So it's multi-dimensional. Very, very awesome knife. I'm really excited to have it. I love those TRM Atoms, and I find them to be exceptional food knives, for around the office. James, it's great to have you here, sir. James says hello to everyone. He's been showing off this really sweet, who's that knife by? It almost looks like a fixed blade, and it's got a perfect handle to blade ratio. It is beautiful. I want to say Andre Thorburn, but I'm not sure. So next, the fixed blade I was carrying today is something I have been looking at for a long time, and this is another company that hand makes the knives and releases them in very limited batches. I just happened to time it just right to get the exact model that they make that I find the most pleasing, and that is the JB Knives Ditch Pick. Yes, the Ditch Pick. What a lovely name. It evokes what does it evoke? It evokes a fight that's gone so wrong. You're in the ditch. You're rolling around in crap, and this is what's going to save your life. It comes in this awesome sheath with an ulti clip, and let me show you the knife. It's a Pikal style knife, and when John, I believe is his name, was put these up for offer, he said that he would do a custom grind on them, so you could order it with just a back sharp or just the front sharp, or the back sharp and the front half sharp, just a bunch of options. So, I was like, I'll get, my first instinct is to always go the least expensive route. And then I was like, wait a second, for $20 more, I could have the exact knife I want. And so that's what I did. What a beautiful knife, man. I really, really love this knife. I've been into the Pikal style blades lately, and this one just takes the cake. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if this translates, but this blade steel is so thin. It's outrageous. It's outrageously thin and so incredibly sharp. Now, these are 0 ground edges here, but on a blade this thin, it's amazing. As a matter of fact, you can see if you look on the sheath towards the end here, the tip, I had to hit this with a lighter because the tip was starting to poke through the Kydex sheath. It is so pokey and sharp because I was carrying it, and I guess as I was resheathing it, it wasn't going directly into the channel, and problems arose. Thank you, Michael. I think I've been ignoring the comments, the last couple comments that have come up, but thank you. Hag says, I was done with the knife hobby. Then I found the Knife Junkie channel. Now I'm back in. I have a few things on my list, thanks to the Knife Junkie. Well, it's like they say, I keep trying to leave and they keep pulling me back in. I love their logo, JB Knife Company. I got to say, Hag, I take that as a compliment, even though I'm acting as an enabler and maybe this isn't very healthy. Thanks for watching, and boy, I can't wait to see what you have gotten through watching our channel. I think that was Nick just saying it's kitchen knife thin. It is tiny thin. Hey, JN, great to have you here. I still haven't been able to do a zoom in on your icon, not your icon, on your avatar. I know if you take a screenshot and zoom in, you can see something in the snow, and I haven't been able to do that yet. So I'm curious. My interest is piqued. So what were you guys carrying? Let me know. In a few minutes, we're going to bring in Marcus Williamson of WM Steelworks, the gentleman that made me and gave me this beautiful Merlin fixed blade that I've been talking about a lot lately. It is a pocket knife, to be sure. And so as we wait for him to come, and he'll join the stream in a little while, let me know what you were carrying today. Was it a quill? Did you have a TRM Atom on you, or perhaps a ditch pick? Carrying, this is Dave, always has awesome knives. Dave and I have a little, it's not envy, because when you envy someone, you're jealous and you want them not to have that thing. For me, I guess it's just straight up jealousy. He's got such a great knife collection and sword collection, incidentally. Carrying my Reptilian Knife Company Finca scale lock gravity blade. Oh, that's that big black Russian knife that Levon of Knife Nuts podcast has been importing and selling. What a cool knife. I saw you put that post that picture up today. And here's another interesting fact about Dave. You know, I talk about this all the time. Dave is a Kali, Filipino martial arts master. And there are some great old videos that you can find on his channel that I remember watching years ago before I ever knew Dave, of him testing out some of the traditional Filipino traditional Filipino weapons swords on tatami mats. So you can see this man swipe a tatami mat in half with 3 different swords, and it's impressive because those things are not a joke to get through with any blade, and he just swipes through them. So very cool. You got to check out those videos. Caleb, great to see you here, sir. Today I had the Beg Custom Glimpse and Spyderco Delica. Nice. You know, I like it. I like this kind of carry, Caleb, when you have something so up in the stratosphere like a custom glimpse by Beg Knives, but then you keeping it real. You know, you got your feet on the ground, but you're reaching for the stars. You know, Casey Kasem, some of you might remember that with the Spyderco Delica. I like that combo. RR, good to have you here. You have a Hinderer Jurassic today. Those are such cool knives, and it's curious to me that they didn't take off maybe as quickly as they're starting to gain traction with this new release. And I think it was the goofy scales on the first run of them, you know, years back when they first came out with the Jurassic. They had scales that were evocative of like dinosaur scales, etched into the side, milled into the side, and I thought they just looked a little goofy. And I wonder if that's what slowed down the popularity of that knife, because it is inherently beautiful and appealing. Blade Hobby, good to have you here. Today I had my Boker Lateralis, awesome knife, and the CRKT Minimalist Persian. Ooh, yeah, I've been a little bit curious about the Persian. I love the Minimalist. I have I have 3 of them. I used to have 3 of them. I gave the Caraman to Christina at Women Carry Knives. But I love the Minimalist platform, and it, you know, endless blade shapes you can go with there. And of course, the Boker Lateralis JB Stout design knife. I will be talking to him next week or in 2 weeks. And his podcast will be going up sometime in September, but I love his knives. Very, very cool and interesting. The Pena, hey, Ben has the Pena X Series Bronco slip joint. Those are cool. He showed that off, I don't know, probably like a month back on Thursday Night Knives. And I was unaware of that knife until he showed it off. And what a beauty that is. I hope you're doing well, sir, Ben. RR has a Chris Reeve Knives Inkosi Insingo. Love that Insingo blade shape. You know, it's kind of a sheep's foot, but with a belly. You know, we like our bellies here. So sheep's foot with a belly. Love that thing. Clayton Workman, great to have you. Clayton is a gentleman junkie. Today, I carried the Spyderco Para 3 Maximet and the Benchmade Osborne 940-1 carbon fiber. Interesting you should mention that, Clayton. You'll want to stick around. The knife fight tonight is a classic that I can't imagine why this hasn't come up yet. But the Paramilitary 2 versus the 940, so kind of like your carry. So that's what the knife fight will be tonight. Michael says Civivi Praxis and the Buck 55. I love the Buck 55. They call that the Prince or something. It's a really small-ish version of the 110, 112 family, but smaller. And I think it's a drop point, right? Is it a drop point, Michael? But that's a really nice. I like that combination there. I just got a TRM, Adam, says Rockstoff. Great to have you here, Rocks. Just got a TRM, Adam. Put on there my Carta Autumn Orange scales, but my GEC Little Rattler comes in on Monday. Very nice. I love the Little Rattler. I got my dad one. He loves his, and mine sits next to my other little tiny one. I just love the way they look with the Warncliffe blade. And Rockstoft, you're gonna want to be around on the 21st of August for the birthday bash, because you have a chance to win new scales for that TRM, Adam, either in G Carta or Linen My Carta, both contoured. Show up, definitely. Hag90 says, I wore gym pants today, so I carried the SOG Ultra XR and the PY knife. Okay, wait, hang on. So, Ultra XR. Oh, yes, I know that one. That's the real thin one. Sometimes it has a gold blade. That's a cool looking knife. What is the PY? Oh, the PY. Protect yourself. The Bastinelli Mastro, Fred Mastro Bastinelli collaboration, right? I'm right? That's a sweet knife. That Tanto, beautiful Tanto shape. Small and cozy and Thai pineapple light in the pockets today. Small and cozy, love that. Thai pineapple. Pineapple? Is that the I know that CRKT had a pineapple knife. I think it was designed by Matthew Lurch. I'm curious about that. Let me know what that is, Nick. Great to have you here, Nick, as always. The Q94 Casey. I don't know what that means. Q94 Casey. I know I'm presuming that's a knife, but I just haven't. I don't know what you're talking about. JN has quite a carry here today. 20 CV Delica, minimalist Warney, the S90V carbon fiber native chief. Awesome. Let me say awesome. Love that. The regular freak, the Olight Perrin Mini, and I promise that's all. Sure. Until I got home and put on a belt knife. A thing about that minimalist Warney that I have noticed, I have the minimalist Warney. It's got a slightly smaller handle than all the other minimalists. I'm not sure if it was an early one and they made like 50 billion of them and just are still selling them out, but they decided later to make the handles a little bit bigger. But that's an interesting thing about that minimalist Warney. It's ever so slightly smaller than the others. Incognito, great to have you here, sir. I only carried the Vaquero. Day off, spent most of my time with the dog, out to the park, vet, and different pet stores. That's awesome. That's a good day of bonding with the pooch. And the Vaquero is there just in case he doesn't take care of business. You can back him up with that. Very cool. Nick, man, I want a Thai pineapple light. They're awesome. Okay, now what is it? Now I need to know. What is a Thai pineapple light? Oh, is it a light like a flashlight? Thai pineapple? Let me know what that is. I know some people out there are laughing. Oh, Bob, come on, man. But I just can't conjure it up. Incognito says, I'm going to wait a few weeks to see people's reviews on the new Talwar before getting one. Oh, man. I got to get the new Talwar before it goes out again, before it disappears again. I do have to get one. So I was visiting. That's an S35VN, and I can't imagine that it's going to be, I would imagine it's probably made in the same place with the same machine. We'll see. I bet it's going to be great, but we'll see. So I'm going to hold off on Ketmuk's comment for a second and just tell you when I was mid-June, I traveled home to Ohio for a friend's birthday, and I stayed at my brother's house. And in my brother's guest room, they have a really nice house, and stay in this really cool guest room. And what's there on the bedside table but a large Talwar? And I was like, Vic, this is awesome, man. I got to get me one. What's it doing in the guest room? He's like, well, that's where I work out. And so if anything's happening while I'm doing kettlebell swings, I want to have a substantial knife. And I was like, right on. I love that knife. Talwar XL. I'm just going to get one. Maybe mine will be one of the reviews that you go by, sir. So Ketmuk Neshart says, Knife Right's version of the SOG Terminus XR. Awesome. Is yours in red or is it a new one? Condor Nesmuk and a Finch Holiday. Ooh, that's a great combination. Right before I came down tonight, I was pawing my Condor. I have a Condor sax, chieftain sax, I think they call it, something like that. And it's such a cool blade. I love their brand of sort of roughly hewn fixed blades. Snuz, good to have you here. EDC'd my Sea Snake, cool knife. And a Puma folding hunter. I was talking with Sea Snake designer Mike Emler just this evening. He was inquiring as to the time we were going live here because he was going live, and yeah, so he's been pumping out the content. You guys should check him out. This Old Sword Blade Reviews, Dave says, thanks, Bob. Those vids are now 12 years old with 90,000 views. Hard to believe. Yeah, they are cool videos. And not for nothing, you haven't aged that much, man. 12 years, can barely tell. The only way you can tell is by the size of your knife collection has grown substantially. Just kidding. I have no idea. Chris says, first of all, hey, Blade Ogre, great to have you here. Got my first Pena on the way, but currently have the off-grid Enforcer XL and TRM Adam, an Open L Outdoors blue and black. Very nice. Here, I just happen to have my Enforcer XL out. Someone, who was it? I guess Metal Complex did a video on his today, and I saw the thumbnail, and I was like, oh yeah, I should pull out the XL. So the XR. So Chris, you too should come to the birthday bash, because you stand to win new scales for your Atom, be it G Carta in purple or green canvas micarta. Black Multicam, great to have you here, sir. As always, looking sharp. RR, by the way, Bob, I bought the ProTech SBR fixed blade because of your review. Thank you. Great pickup. I have the leather sheath and Kydex, number 49. Thank you. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate your comment on my review, your kind words. Isn't that sheath amazing? I love Chattanooga Leatherworks. I think anything they do is awesome. And if you didn't know, Chattanooga Leatherworks is owned by RMJ, the Tomahawk people. Very interesting. Ryan Johnson is a very interesting guy. He gave me we talked for about a half hour at Blade Show and gave me like some serious history lessons, but not in any sort of he was just a very cool guy. Kane, good to have you here. HBD Jim, happy birthday, Jim, he says. And good evening, junkies. Well, good evening, Kane. It's great to have you here. Today I carried the Roosevelt, no surprise there, and Trevor Berger EXK for the blades, and a Fellholter tie bolt pen, nice, with Celtic milling pattern. That Roosevelt is cool. I got to say, that thing has been, every time I at first I thought it was a little too plain, but now it's really catching my eye. And I do know that Stasa 23 Nick said that that's his very favorite knife in his collection. At least he said that a few weeks ago. And you know how these things can change week to week. Black Multicam carried a ProTech CQC7 and Bastinelli Pica. That's a solid carry right there. I do like the CQC7 ProTechs. I've always kind of wanted to get one of those. Hag says, you guys are carrying some sick blades today. Well, Hag, that's how we do. Peter, good to have you here. A Therapeutic Edge. Today, I had the Gen 1 Varga VBR in pocket. That knife is, I love that knife. I'm jealous of everyone who owns one. I got to say, Peter, I was shocked to see that you were unloading the De Villiers. What the hell is that called? Not the Atlas, the Alpha. Oh God, I immediately checked my my bank account. I really wanted to buy that in its 4.5-inch glory. That thing is beautiful. It looks almost too big to carry, but not really. Nick says the Pineapple is a AA flashlight. They come in tie, copper, and such. Okay, thank you. My panic there was palpable. I mean, does he get attacked a lot while working out? No, but this is how the brothers DeMarco think. I have a knife in my shower. Hasn't happened yet, but if it does, I'm going to go all Jason Bourne on the guy. Yes, Bob, says Nick. The small mini tie flashlight by Raylight called the Pineapple. All right. Thank you, guys. James says, got that fancy Thorburn L26M front flipper with me now. That is a really nice knife. And you showed a shot of it today, in like a dorsal view of it, kind of down the spine of the blade. And you really see that it's a very subtle, but it is there. It is a bit of a clip point, right? You can see the spine narrow and then dip down. What a beautiful knife that is. And I think I've mentioned this before, though I have massive major respect for Andre Thorburn, his knives have never done it for me until that one. That one is really stunning to me. So excellent choice. We have Marcus Williamson in the green room. Let's bring Marcus in. He is the proprietor and man behind MW Steelworks. Marcus, good to have you here, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Okay, so check this out. We have a little bit of a delay going back between us audio-wise. So when I ask a question or I talk, I'm going to stop for a second so I don't talk over you.
Sounds good.
It's like you're on Mars and we're communicating. That's cool, man. I see a Tomahawk in the background against your window. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep, little Tomahawk I have there. I've had it for a little while now.
Is that one of your making?
No, it's one I picked up. Right now the left my brain, but it's one I've had for quite a while, and just got stuck up there and it's been up there for the last few months.
I'm going through a serious Tomahawk phase. Peter says, welcome, Marcus. And so does Michael. He says, evening, Marcus. So I'm going to put the Merlin under the knife cam for a second so people can look at it again. I've been talking about this knife a lot recently, and I just find it totally, absolutely beautiful. Marcus, tell me a little bit about this knife and what went into it.
Basically, it's a small little fixed EDC that I made to carry in my front pocket. I like to be able to carry a fixed blade. It's my preference of not to carry. So that's kind of the goal I was going afterward. I really like the sheath foot style blade, so I was trying to go with something that would give a little bit of size, but something I can carry in the front pocket on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's definitely a pocket knife. We think of pocket knives, we think of we think of something like this, a buck or just a folding knife. But when I got this, I was this is exactly a pocket knife, and it comes, you send it in this beautiful leather sheath that fits really nicely in the front pocket, and so it really works well as a pocket knife. And the sheep's foot blade is very, very useful. The handle to me is incredibly. I love this handle. What is this? What are the materials here?
The outer is a Bacote wood, and then 3 layers of G10. I believe that one has blue, white, and orange.
Yeah.
These are 3 layers that you have on yours there.
Man, is it nice? And I love fantastic shape. You're getting a lot of, let's see, Black Multicam said super clean. Mr. Fileto, great to have you here, Mr. Says that new piece from Tebby Designs and WM Steelworks is a great collaboration. Tell us about that collaboration.
Yeah, I have one of those knives right here. This is the one that I kept for myself here. Basically, we met at a show this year, and he was the table across the way from me. So, got talking a few different times when we'd slow down a little bit. Once we got back, I contacted him and asked him if he'd be interested in designing a fixed blade. And so he met with design for me, and took it and put a few of my little touches on it. And we did the first production run. He just got those in hand this week, and will be is available to his customers.
Nice. You're breaking up a little bit on us, Marcus, but I think I could make all of that out. So you guys met at Blade Show, and you've been collaborating on this very clean knife. You've had some pretty big compliments there on that. What's your overriding philosophy on knife design and how you make your work?
I try to make all my blades something that can be used on a regular basis, not something to be put away and stored in a drawer somewhere. But I try to make knives that can be used. And so the overall theme of most of my knives is, can it be used? Can it be carried? I normally try to make sure it can be carried in a pocket. I personally don't like carrying a knife fixed blade on my hip. I prefer to go with a pocket carry. So that's my blade.
Yeah, I think that in this day and age, at least for me, it's really impractical to carry a knife on my belt. I can carry, oh, see, here are some Merlins coming up. I can carry knives, you know, I guess semi-legally in my waistband, but really this, you know, to have a fixed blade like this of a very manageable size, but with huge capability, especially with that sheep's. I'm with you. I love the sheep's foot style blade. Just in your pocket can, you know, take care of all of your cutting needs. And not for nothing, something I really love about having this leather sheath in my pocket is how it will patina over time with, you know, being close to my body, but also, you know, putting other things in the pocket with it. It will get that nice kind of leather patina to it. Marcus,
So like it ages over time.
Yes, exactly.
With the leather.
Exactly. So where are you located, Marcus, and how should people get in touch with you to get to get their hands on your knives?
Okay. I'm in Pendleton, South Carolina. Work out of shop here. You, as like it's showing there, I have a website that keeps as updated as possible. With knives I have on hand, shop mwsteelworks.com, marcus.mwsteelworks.
All right, Marcus, you're just you're breaking up pretty bad here. I'm going to sum it up for viewers so they can get in touch with you. I think you know, I've reached out to you quite a bit on Instagram.
Sure.
That seems to be a great place. That seems to be a great place not only to communicate with you, but to see what you're doing and see what the most recent work is. And then you have a website, mwsteelworks.com, where you have a number of your knives up for sale at, you know, I mean, I was looking at the prices right there, and having personal experience with your work and the quality of it, and also just the design and the usefulness of it, you know, those prices are very reasonable. I think people need to jump on them before they start going up, because they will. I imagine, because these things are really, really nice. And, you know, I'm enamored with this knife. So thank you, Marcus, for coming on Thursday Night Knives. I really appreciate it. And I'd love to continue our conversation at another time when we have a better connection.
Yeah, we'll try to get a little better connection next time.
All righty, sir. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, always quite a pleasure. Take care, sir.
Have a great one. Good night.
Good night. Ah, man, it's always such a buzzkill when technology kind of just comes in and screws you over like that. But, you know, what can we expect? At least we can do this thing like they did in 2001 Space Odyssey and talk to one another remotely, face to face. It is amazing. But next time, I promise we'll get him on, and we'll get a better connection, and we'll have a longer, more in-depth conversation with MW Steelworks. You know, as I've been going on and on, as I do when I find a knife that I really love, I just think his work is awesome. And, well, if you like the look of this one, you can, and you like the look of what you saw on his website that we just had up, you can rest assured the quality is there, and the fit and finish and the sharpness is there. And here's something that I've mentioned before. This is a pretty stout blade stock, but with the grind, it comes down to a really, really sharp and thin behind the edge geometry. So these things are great slicers as well as just robust pocket knives. So check out Marcus Williamson, MW Steelworks, on mwsteelworks.com, or check him out on Instagram and communicate with him through Instagram. So there he goes, Marcus Williamson. It was a pleasure to have him on, and next time we'll get a better connection. All right. So tonight I want to ask you, because I've been outgrowing my knife cabinet. I'm embarrassed to say it's not a cabinet. It's it's a Craftsman tool chest, and it's got the rolling base, and then it's got the part on top. It's got a bunch of drawers, and they're filling up. And I'm like, man, how did I let it get like this? How did I let it go so far? And what can I say? I mean, it's in my name, Junkie. I love any and all knives. I really do. And I spend a lot of time talking about the fancy, expensive knives, that come through here that I love so much. But it all started with budget knives. And by budget, everyone's budget is different. And but what I'm trying to say is that I still have a love for the non-flashy, the non-high-end knives. And so I was just curious what you guys consider the best high value or budget folders in your collections. And I have a couple I want to show. And I'll start them in descending price. I brought out 4. And I was like, these are budget for me right now, but are they budget in general? I don't know. I don't think so. But so I have 4 of them, and I'm going to show them in descending order. Kiefer, great to have you here. Oh, you crazy knife nuts. Oh, you crazy knife nuts. It's good to have you here, Kiefer, as always. Time for a second toolbox. Yeah, I'm still working on filling one up, says Nick. And I don't know, JG10, I bet he could be convinced. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know about the selling. I'm going to have to bite the bullet at some point. So let me run down the 4 knives that popped to mind. And actually, I don't remember really how much any of these cost. This one actually is the high end of the budget. And that is the Concept Main Street or Concept Main Street. And actually, come to think of it, I think this was an $80 knife. So maybe this isn't so budget. But I guess I kind of treat it as such. I like to bang on this knife because it's very, very capable. And it's kind of rough and tumble. It's got a rough and tumble look with that burlap micarta and the black scales. And it's just super, super capable. And I love I love Dirk Pinkerton's designs. So this is on the high end of the low end, if you will, in my collection. Next is the Civivi Asticus. Just give me an Asticus and I'll kiss. This is a really good, this was a gift, and I'm not sure what it costs. And I didn't look it up. I have a feeling it's around the $60 mark. Let's see. Incognito says, the most high-end knife I have is an OD green bug out. Very nice. Man, I love the bug out. And in OD green, that sounds nice. Redacted, how's it going, Redacted? I think all my knives are budget knives compared to most everyone else's. Well, you know what? Like, that's okay. So expensive knives is a deep hole, and also, it's something that takes time. For me, it was accumulating a lot of budgety knives. And I want to get back to Dave's topic in a second, but accumulating a lot of budgety knives and then selling them for something less budgety, and then accumulating more budgety knives and then selling them for something also less budgety. That's kind of how I've always done it. And I'm, it's no secret I'm turning 50 in 2 weeks. And so it's taken time to get to the point where I have some of these knives. And sometimes I've made foolish decisions that I knew I could recover from within a paycheck or whatever. But, I'm pretty sure my wife isn't watching, so I'm going to speak freely. But, so budget is all a matter of perspective. This old sword says, some say Civivi, but in the $50 to $60 range, I love Bestech. Yes, Bestech is awesome. Good example is the Finn double grind. I'm not sure which one that is, Dave. Maybe you can hop on by going to theknifejunkie.com/join, aiming the camera at yourself, putting in the headphones, and showing me. Rat 1 or Rat 2? Yeah, my Rat 2 I almost brought out And I don't know why I didn't. Pinky Tuscadero, my pink one. Nav Sergeant, great to have you here, sir. We're talking about budget-ish knives. Cold Steel Range Boss. Nice. Yeah. I like the look of that, but it's no secret because I like the Broken Skull, and the Range Boss is kind of a Broken Skull with different materials, right? Budget. I like the Kershaw Paraframe. Paraframe. I thought the Paraframe was Gerber, I think. Well, I'm not sure. So I got the Civivi Asticus here. It was a gift. It's got a nice long blade, beautifully hollow ground. Probably my Kubi Nova when they were 64, an AUS 10 titanium frame lock, better action than my Civivi. Nice. I feel like I've had a Kubi knife, not that I've owned, but that has been loaned to me. Kubis. Yeah, those are good knives. Ash, great to have you here. We're talking about budget knives or semi, whatever is budget to you and what you got. It's great to have you here. Stooley J says, well, first of all, hey, Stooley, good to have you here. I like every Civivi knife I've ever handled. Of the few I own, I really love the Elementum. The Elementum. I just like saying that. It's a super value for the money. That's the one that they just came out with, the button lock version, with no other way to open it but to depress the button and flip, right? Is that the Elementum? Making me get the Centro. Oh, get out my Centros. Ooh, yeah. CJRB, right? What happened to this company? The Kershaw Leak is a classic value too. Yeah, the Leak is cool, and it's such a beautiful knife. Great blade shape. Like this one. What happened to these guys? Tangram. It was the budget Kaiser line. They came out with a couple of very inexpensive. This was $25. Still just a great knife. I'm curious as to what happened to these guys. They had this, and then they had their aluminum button lock, and that seemed to have gone away. This one you can't find. And, for a while, they were only showing these on, you could only get these on Amazon, which was curious. And being a Kaiser budget brand, and I always thought Kaiser was a pretty good manufacturer, and I thought that they did an excellent job with the Tangram knives. So what happened to you, Tangram? You used to be beautiful, man. Okay, what's that from? What movie is that from? What happened to you? You used to be beautiful. Maybe you know. Nick of Off Grid, Nick Martino says Off Grid, Finch Concept. Oh, Off Grid, Finch Concept, Kaisers, under or around $100. All make awesome knives. That budget. Yeah, I agree with you. They all make awesome knives, and actually, Finch and Off Grid. Well, I know Off Grid for sure, and I think Finch. I can't remember now. Do have their knives made by Best Tech. So you get a great OEM. It's a little crooked here. You have a great OEM, and they're making knives of really great designs. We love that. So okay, so I was showing this off, the old Santa Fe from Kaiser's budget line, Tangram. Such a great knife. The action on this from jump was is superb. Love that blade shape. Very useful. And they use that Akuto 440 style Japanese 440 steel. Dave says, not set up for video tonight, but the Best Tech Fin, as so great that I bought, 3 with different handle colors, is still the best budget range. The Fin is a dagger. Oh, yeah, right. The dagger grind. I think you recently showed that off, I think. Best Tech, man. Yeah, they do produce a nice knife. And then the last one is very legitimately budget. That button lock is something else. It's hard to put down. I bet. I need to get a good button lock that's not a switchblade, or I should say automatic. Switchblade sends the pearl clutchers running, and I just want to say automatic. Well, maybe that sends the pearl clutchers running too. For beater knife in $50 range, a 4-inch Voyager is a great choice. Yes, sir. The Voyager. the Voyager. Now I have one 4-inch Voyager left. I ended up giving a number of them away as gifts. I had the Vaquero 4-inch Voyager. Now I could kick myself for getting rid of that one. But I have the clip point in one of my bug out bags. And then the rest of my Voyagers are the big ones. John says, I'd say the Endura is a great budget knife. Not real fidgety, but certainly dependable. My travel go-to. That's my painting go-to. And as Jim recently said, no one paints their house as much as I do. It seems like I'm always painting. And I love that knife. I think I originally chose it for the blue handle and the blue painter's tape. And I've graduated to the green painter's tape. But I still use that blue-handled Endura to cut. I cannot stand ripping tape unless it's gaffer's tape and it tears on the grain. Ryan says, in Northcote, great to have you here. Honey Badger knives are great budget value. Never, ever have held a Honey Badger, but I would like to. I think they look cool, and I really like the look of their, what do you call it? Their Warncliffe, their sheep's foot. And, I'm superficial. I do like the look of knives. It is very important to me. I'm a huge fan of Kaiser, says Redacted. They're my pick for budget brand. Them or Civivi. Here, here. Well, what do you think of this? This is about as budget as they come. This is an Opinel number 10. Opinel or Opinel. I just say Opinel. They have a range from the tiniest little keychain knife to the number 13, which is comically large. I find the number 10 is the sweet spot. Most people find the number 8. That's their most popular size. I think that's a 3 3.25 inch. This is about a 3.5, 3.6 inch blade. And, you feel no bones about making them yours because they're so inexpensive. I mean, this was under $20 when I got this years back. And I stripped it and did these little grooves and stained it and rubbed it down and did all that. And that patina on the blade, you can get carbon steel blades or stainless. But the patina on this is strictly from steak and food. This is my non-dress going out to dinner knife. I always bring it unless we're going somewhere fancy, and then I bring a GEC to cut my food, whether it's fish, steak. I'm trying to eat more fish now, but whether it's fish or steak or chicken or what have you, I use this because I will not be caught dead using that nasty, damp-handled, rickety bladed, dull serrated saw thing that they hand you with that beautiful, expensive cut of steak you're buying. So I'll bring this or a GEC, and this was, like I said, less than $20. And look at it. It looks like a relic. It looks like an heirloom with that patina on that awesome blade. And the blade is so thin and so easy to sharpen and so easy to strop and keep razor sharp. It's hard to beat an Opinel. If you don't have one, just get one. I mean, just throw it on your next Amazon order and get one or two and mess around with it. Turn it into something that's all yours. JN says, I used a Kershaw CQC K11 for boxes a couple of days ago. Stropped it every 5 minutes and was fine. Then got out the 20 CV sheep grip. Oh, okay. And no more stropping. Yeah, right. No kidding. But who doesn't love stropping? It feels good, right? Just drag it across. It's getting sharp and get that. And it also makes you feel like you've accomplished something with your day. Here, I had a dull piece of 8CR13 MOV moments ago, and now it's razor sharp. How awesome is that? Nick says, aren't the guys that started Concept? Someone has to tell me how you say that, so I don't have to say or. I'm going to say Concept. Aren't the guys that started Concept the ones who were doing the Tangram line? Interesting. I don't know. I know that they came from Kaiser, but I'm not sure if they were the ones doing Tangram. Interesting thought. Michael says, can't leave out the Penguin. Yes. I would suggest the blue jeans, the denim micarta. Don't have one, but I love the way that thing looks. And some people were recommending that a few weeks ago. I think all of you were, when I said, what knife should I get? The guy who's working for me, who's not a knife guy. Redacted said, that's a great looking open L. Got to appreciate a real work knife. Yeah, it is. It is a real work knife. For me, it just works on food, but you know, that's a traditional French farmer's folder. Sean T, good to have you here. Hey, Bob, which direware would you get? Any that was offered. I borrowed a direware that was perfect. It was like the perfect direware from Dirk Werning, and I'm trying to remember the name of it now. I'm having a little on the spot mind block. The Solo with a recurved tanto. That's what I would get. The direware Solo with a recurved tanto. Oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful knife. I reached out to him. I was dying to get him on the show and never heard back from him, but I hear he's a reclusive artist type, which I have been in other incarnations, and I get it. Okay, Michael says, pretty sure some Concept say they're called Concept. Okay. So the people from the company KANCEPT call it Concept. And you know what? That actually makes a lot more sense than Concept. Concept is corny as hell because that's like, we can do it and we have a concept for these knives. I just like Concept with the different spelling. So I think I'm going to go with Concept with the different spelling. It's kind of like when Ryuke or Reich came out and everyone was like falling all over themselves trying to correct each other. But we kind of all settled on Reich, right? For RUIKE. Yeah. So next Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife giveaway that is August 19th. And what'll that be? It will either be the a Kaiser, or it will be a Acta non verba, one of those two that again we got from Dave. Dave is like our most awesome benefactor when it comes to getting knives to give away. I really appreciate it, Dave. And I really like that Kaiser. What the hell is it called? Can't read it from here. It's not the beg letter, but it's the one that kind of they made after the beg letter to sort of cash in on the success of the beg letter. It's kind of in the same realm. I'd put it right next to each other if I had those in my collection. Such cool knives. It's Rake. Right, Rake. Right, of course. RUIKE, Rake. Yes. Okay. Ruike is how I says it. Ruike. They were what? They came from a flashlight company, is that right? Or torch company? Torch. They're torches, Bob. Yep. So still let me know what your favorite budgets are. I gotta say, for $40, this Harns is insane. I mean, it is just insane. Dret, I thought it was Racky. Yeah, it could be. It could be Ruiki. This is a budget knife, and it's got 14C28N. It's got this really cool blade shape, which I will not identify. And it's got drop shut action on a rock solid lockup with really nicely milled G10. It's that G10 that's sort of like the G10 on a Tenacious. And look, it's got a what do you call it? A collar, an anodized collar around the pivot for $40. It's insane, man. It's insane what they can do. And by they, yeah, I guess I mean the Chinese for the amount of money that you pay for this, but I guess that's what you get, when you don't pay your people or whatever. But we're not going to have that discussion right now. A lot of drama in the knife world, and I don't feel like dealing with any drama. I got enough of it in a house with 3 women. Well, they're not women. Just my wife is a woman. And I joke, it is my greatest joy and pleasure. But man, I got to say, sometimes I'm like, what is going on? How did this happen? I don't get it. I'm just an XY here. I don't know how the mood just turned and why you're mad at you. And you are like, well, I don't know what's going on here. So anyway, what was that last comment, Jim? I am extricating myself from all drama. Oregon Knife Guy, good to have you here. Phoenix Lights, that's it. And they said rake. Reiki. That's that healing, that sort of energy work, right? Hag says, I don't like when people say the Chinese. Sounds fascist. And then JN says fascist. Well, okay. The Chinese companies, is that better? You know what I was talking about, right? I'm pretty sure you know what I was talking about. Either that or you're, as the Brits say, taking a piss. And I can't tell because I can't hear your voice. And I can't tell if you're putting any stank on it. But I could if you join me right here on screen. Just go to thenifejunkie.com/join. Get a little bit of light on you. Turn the camera on yourself. Put your earbuds in. And let's talk. And then I'll be able to gauge levels of sarcasm and such. Nah, I'm just kidding. But I hear what you're saying. Not actually, but through your writing. Yeah. Okay. So we were going to talk about the JB knives and the TRM Atom in the state of the collection. I feel like I've already shown them off, but hey, why not just get them under the camera again just for a minute? Now that we're done talking about budget knives, let me show you what I've spent my money on recently. And actually, these, like I said, luckily I got a very nice deal on the Atom from Marianne and Les Halpern over there at TRM. But it was, you will find if you time it right and you can actually get your hand. I know what you mean though. If you time it right and you actually can get your hands on an Atom on the primary market, right from them, the Canadians, these are very reasonably priced for what they are. It's just on the secondary market is where you get the gouge, because they're much sought after and they come out in very small batches relative to the bigger companies. But this knife is just awesome. Look at these G-Carta scales. If you watched or listened to the interview I did with J.L. Hansen, Greg Hansen of J.L. Hansen and Sons, the guys who make G-Carta, man, what an interesting process. What a great guy too. I'd love to hang out with him and just talk materials all day long. But the process of making these is very complex, and it's a very self-made process, between him and his son who engineers some of the machines that they use to make these, to get that high pressure and high heat to turn beautiful bolts of fabric into this amazing handle material. Getting this in hand was a surprise because, like I said before, it almost has a micro velveteen feel to it. You can really feel the fabric. Whereas in this G-Carta scale on this Protec Strider that I got from Joe Knife Whisperer, Joe Frazier, this has a much slicker, polished, hard feel, whereas this has a soft feel. Very, very interesting, the differences between this G-Carta and that G-Carta. What do you think of the DLC coating on the blade? It's subtle, isn't it? It's sometimes hard to see under a camera. It's even sometimes hard to see in person. And then you turn it in the right light and then you see it. Right there, for me, for instance, on camera, it looks like just a regular silver color until you contrast it with the color of the thumb stud. Excuse me. Man alive, I love this knife. Such thin blade steel, such a high flat grind. It's like a laser beam. This knife actually in cutting performance reminds me a little bit of the Steingraber Performance Knives Shark. Just like so incredibly thin, so sharp, things just kind of part. At glancing at that knife, things just yawn open. They don't want to be cut by it because it's so thin and sharp. That's a little dramatic, I understand, but. And then again, I will show this beautifully double-edged JB Knife Company ditch pick. So cool in the state of the collection. Very happy to have this knife in my collection. Edwin, right? Callow PR, he just recently got a JB knife also, and posted that recently. Such a cool knife. Okay, so you've seen those already, but I did get something else today, and it was inspired by a video that that Zach of Wingard Wearables just put up when he was talking about the weights of tomahawks. And Wingard Wearables, they pride themselves on the lightweight of their tomahawks. Oh, I just happen to have two of them right here. The Back Ripper, which is my latest tomahawky obsession, and then the Empress, a spontoon hawk, all about stabbing, if you will. This has some more utility to it than this. Both very, very light. I weighed them beforehand. The Back Ripper Tomahawk is 7 1/8 ounces. This is 7 1/8 ounces, and this is hickory. This handle is hickory. It's just thin and just very economically parsed out hickory, but it's strong as hell and super, super light. And the axe head has been pared down to the very, very essential. You've got that sharpened inner edge meat hook kind of part, and then you have the small chopping blade on this side. No more than is necessary, and it's easy to recover, easy to move around. So about the weight of an XM24 here by Hinderer, and then the Empress Tomahawk is 8 ounces. It's a little stouter, and this is silicone bronze that has been cast, and it's a little bit thicker, so hence the higher weight, and just the haft is a bit more substantial. So those two tomahawks are very light, and they inspired this video that Zach put up about doing mods and before he started making tomahawks, he would buy tomahawks and try and make them light by doing mods on them. So I figured, why don't I this is a great excuse to get another tomahawk, but why don't I get the cold steel tomahawk that I've been eyeing up for a long time, and then do some modifications to it, grind it down a little bit, see if I can make it lighter. So I got the 1 pound 8 ounce, so it's 1.5 pounds compared to those others. It's like a beast. But this is the I'll put it under the knife cam, or the hawk cam, if you will. This is the Spike Hawk by Cold Steel Knives, and look at the horrendous. I mean, I guess I would care if I didn't have plans to this down, but look at the sort of rust and just kind of jacked up coating that it came with. I think this has been laying around an Amazon warehouse for several years here, probably getting wet or getting leaked on by robots or whatever. So I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to grind it down, I'm going to remove some weight off of this substantial hickory haft, and see if I can make it approach anywhere as light as this. But you can see the size difference here between these two tomahawks. And this, the cold steel almost is like a two-handed axe by comparison to the Wingard Wearables. So I'm really excited to, get out the grinder. This is, of course, will have to be next month when the dust settles around here. There's a lot going on. We've got the birthday bash coming up. Ooh, the Trailhawk. I have that. I like the Trailhawk. That's got the hammer pole on it, right? That fellow there says, I saw that video, Bob. I was one of 12. Me too. Will you be modding the new Hawk? Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea is to now this is hardened. It's going to take a while, but I want to grind it down on the sides, maybe shorten the blade a little bit and thin out do everything I can to make the tomahawk head lighter. It's aged. Yeah. To make the head lighter, but then also cut down the length of the haft and then remove some of the meat. It's really stout hickory. It'll be fine. JN says, I've made a few handles for hatchets and tomahawks out of Osage orange. Oh, I have a club that a friend of mine gave me years ago. He gave me 2 beautifully aged pieces of Osage orange that were growing in his backyard. One of them is a shillelagh. It's got a sort of root ball knot at the end to kind of keep it in your hand, and then it comes to a big curve. It all it needs is a dagger blade coming out of the the front portion of it, and it would look like kind of like one of those Indian American, Native American, what do they call them? Like musket clubs. Osage orange is beautiful wood, and man, is it strong. I actually, I used to have a hammer axe, a pole axe from Cold Steel, and I hung the blade of it on the other piece of Osage orange and gave it to a friend of mine who's big and can actually wield it. Jim, what was that last one? Oh, Professor EDC, great to have you here. Bob, Jim, everyone, sorry I've been caught in many things and I'm late. Hope everyone is doing well. Well, thank you for coming. We are doing well. Actually, Professor, it's Jim's birthday today. So we were wishing him a happy birthday earlier. And I know you've been showing up, for years here now. So I thought you might want to know. JN, kid, is that a fighting tomahawk? Grandpa, yes, it's a tomahawk. Yeah, exactly. What else are you going to use a tomahawk for? Yeah. I do like the spikes on the tomahawks. Oh, I forgot to mention the Elmer Roosh tomahawk. Look at this. Look at the size difference here. So he hand forged this. The cutting blade is much shorter, and the spike is much longer and curved. Apparently, they used to. By they, I mean like Iroquois, and just the people who are using tomahawks in the Northeast woodland times had the big hook, not the big hook, but a spike that could be used percussively to, penetrate, but also could be used to pull and to drag. So yeah, this one is 1 pound exactly, and it feels so light, this Elmer Roosh tomahawk. If the name Elmer Roosh sounds familiar, and it's not because I've been talking about him ever since I got this from Blade Show, it's because he's got a tomahawk that CRKT is making of his design. So cool stuff. He is the man. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And, I've been putting up the knife close-up videos. I missed Monday and Tuesday, but I made some for Friday and Saturday. So I'll be showing off the back ripper. And then I also did a video of that fellow there's Clip Point Sheepdog by Emerson Knives that he loaned me. So check that out. I do a couple of pretty cool comparisons there. That's one of the parts of those videos I really like. And be sure to check those out. JN says, happy birthday, Jim. Michael says, happy birthday, Jim. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jim, I do know he was eating some German chocolate cake right before we started rolling. And it's like, I got the coffee, he's got the cake. We should have been doing this in the same room together. Yes, officer, the spike is to open cans. Yeah, it's for oil cans, officer. I mean, actually, you could use those to pop tires for sure. But I've seen enough ridiculousness to know that when you pop a tire, sometimes it might explode on you and send you across the parking lot. So I won't be so excited to do that. All right, I want to talk about a gorgeous folding kitchen knife that I saw on the old Knife News. Have you guys seen this? It's by acclaimed kitchen knife maker Quentin Middleton. And I have to be honest, I'm saying acclaimed because I hear he's acclaimed. I don't know Quentin Middleton, but that's because I don't really know much about kitchen knives. But look at this thing. Look at this thing. I gotta say, I am really, really impressed by it. S35VN steel, that's a 2-inch broad blade there. And yes, it looks like it would be outstanding in the kitchen as your knuckles are clear, with the curve of the blade and the curve of the handle. Your knuckles are clear from wrapping the cutting board when you use it. But I got to say, that blade does possess quite a bit of menace. Like, for instance, if it were just a kitchen blade or just a kitchen knife, why would you need that incredible swedge? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason that I haven't thought of, but I think this thing is really something else. And I do love the picture of the samurai on the side. I'm assuming that's a samurai. when you see that sort of Cheshire moon there, and there's a guy there. It looks like he's got a wakizashi and a katana. He says, I've had other folding knife designs that I've made in the past. I've made slip joint folders and friction folders. Actually, the Ona, that's what this is called, the Ona, started out as a friction folder. And to me, it's kind of funny to imagine a friction folder as a kitchen knife. That's me saying that. So yeah, S35VN, titanium, man, that incredible blade shape. And interesting thing, that 2-inch wide blade at 8 ounces. So it's about as heavy as that Tomahawk I just showed you from Wingard Wearables. But the benefit of having that super broad 2-inch blade there is, you're cutting stuff up and then you have to transfer it to the pan. Well, you slide the blade under the ingredients. You have a 2-inch broad by 3 3/4 inch long blade to lift and drop, to drop the ingredients in the pan. I think it's a great design. I do like when companies, when designers attempt to make folding kitchen knives. I know Liang Ma, who is a chef by training and trade before the knife making. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a 5-inch blade. Oh, yes. I like it even more. I'm going to have to get this thing. But anyway, as I was saying, Liang Ma, who is a chef by training, made the CKUF. What is it? The kitchen folding something kitchen knife. It basically looked like, a very slick folding kitchen knife. That was cool. The Spidey Chef, that's cool too, though I like my more tactical version of it. But this one here by Quentin Middleton really takes the cake by my estimation. Do you see what I did there? Takes the cake. I guess if you were a baker, it would be better. But if you look at this picture here and look next to the cutting hands knuckle there, you'll see some engraving or some sort of anodizing. It looks sort of like an MC Escher pattern there. You don't see that in the picture below, but I'd be very interested to see the different variations that come out from this. I don't know who's making it, but I'm excited about it. 5-inch folder with a blade that looks like that you could say, no, officer, it's for cooking. So there it is, the Ona by Quentin Middleton. We are all very, very excited. Well, I am very, very excited. What do you guys think of that? What is there any point in making a folding kitchen knife or a folding food knife? Yeah, KUF, kitchen utility folder. Thank you. My eyes always flip the K and I think that's on purpose. KUF, kitchen utility folder. Mark Hoffman. Hey everyone. Well, it's good to have you here, Mark. Really glad to be here. Love your lives, my man. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that. This is, I tell people, I say it on the podcast all the time. This is one of my favorite times of the week, just coming on here and talking with you guys and gals and hearing from you and finding out what's on your mind. What is on your mind? I just showed this folding kitchen knife. Is that, is the whole concept of a folding kitchen knife, is that just kind of for fun, or do you see real application for that? I mean, I have a bunch of kitchen knives upstairs that I keep sharp. Is that, do those preclude the need for this folding kitchen knife? Oregon Knife Guy says, I didn't realize it was a folder. I'm a cook and I would carry that at work. Nice. Okay, this is the kind of input I need, Oregon Knife Guy. So you would carry a folder at work. Presumably it's simple enough in its design that when food and crap gets caught up in there, you can easily flush it out. I see something on standoffs, maybe a frame lock, though from the picture we have there, we couldn't really tell. So you would carry that at 5 inches. It's a good size, and it's got that wide blade for the scoopage and droppage. So, yeah, I mean, when the Spidey Chef came out, I was like, that's interesting. It's a cool concept. It's all non-rustable materials, and it looks like a Santoku, So it looks useful in that regard, and it's thinly ground. But who uses their folding knives for food, you know? And it seemed like there was a long period of time in knife reviews where people were talking about their folding knives as food knives. And I get it at work, you know, but at home with the cutting board, I never quite got that. I personally think if it were 6.5 inches, it would be good. However, I feel it's effective. I just don't think it would replace my kitchen set. Right. Like, so maybe you would if you were like, like Oregon Knife Guy going into a kitchen to work. It might be something you keep in your pocket for when everyone else is hogging the good knives or something like that. I don't know if it works like that in your kitchen or if everyone brings their own knives. Oregon Knife Guy. I worked in a kitchen for 2 years when I was in college, and it was basically, there were three full sets of knives that got sharpened every week, and people were always trying to get certain ones. The 10-inch chef's knives were the big ones that everyone wanted. I always liked the big long I always liked the big long scimitar like butcher knives that no one used, and I would use that for I had to clean bushels and bushels of lettuce, and so to chop off the bottoms I would just chop it off with that, and then scramble to get a kitchen knife. I carry at least 4, Bob, just like every junkie. Would work better than my ZT0640. Yeah, that's for sure. That's what I carry most these days. Not for all tasks, but for small stuff. How cool is that? So you bust that out, and do your fellow kitchen people, your fellow the people you work with in the kitchen, do they ever comment like, "Oh, here comes Oregon Knife Guy with his fancy knife"? I'm just curious. Love the Spidey Chef super slicer. Don't really think of it as a kitchen knife though. Yeah, I get that because it is small. I mean, it'll cut stuff for sure. It made the most sense to me when I saw right after it came out. I mean, this is what inspired me to have mine clipped and pointed by Mike Emler. But I saw a fisherman who had that knife, and he caught a fish. I think it was in Florida, caught some big fish, pulls it in and immediately starts gutting it, and he used his Spidey Chef, but he also had a point ground into the tip, kind of clipped off there. And to me, that made a lot of sense for that application, especially because it's all non-rusting. And if you're in a kitchen, you probably have kitchen knives. The KUF 4-inch is L-Max and fairly thin. Got it and love it. Ooh, nice. It does have a cool look to it. It actually looks, with that sort of very neutral handle and then the shape of the blade, it actually looks a lot like a fixed blade kitchen knife. Just kind of a anyone remember Global kitchen knives? I bring it up every once in a while. They're integral steel handle with the steel blade. Very cool looking, but uncomfortable to use. Just curious. Hag90 says, if it's really good, you could have it as your only knife. I've thought about it as a minimalist feature. Yeah. You mean if you want to live an ascetic lifestyle and have one knife that you use for everything, fighting, of course, but also kitchen tasks and cutting string and that kind of thing. A 5-inch blade, 2-inch wide, pointy, rather menacing looking kitchen folding knife would actually be pretty cool, like the Ona. Mark says, I sold my Spidey Chef due to its size. I feel it makes a great knife if you were to clean and cook fish out at sea. Exactly. I mean, that's how I feel about it too, but that's because I saw that video. But put a point on there so you can kind of get in, and then yeah. Love that knife. Well, I love it the way it is now, the way I have it. So we have a knife fight. We have a knife fight tonight. And man, last week I knife fought with probably the master. It's like walking into a martial arts school and walking up to, the oldest, baddest guy in the room and picking a fight with him. And that was with Doug Ritter. and we knife fought, and he cleaned my clock. He shellacked me, as the old guys say. Oregon Knife Guy says, most of my co-workers can't understand why I have and continue to buy so many knives. Dilettantes. What are they doing in the kitchen, man? What are they doing in the kitchen? They should understand. Yeah, so last week I had the privilege of debating with Doug Ritter, and he was like, gee gosh golly, this is a surprise. How could I possibly? And then he proceeded to kill me. The knife fight last week was multiples versus one, carrying multiples versus one. Patina, great to have you here. That was a great live with Ritter. Yeah, he is. I love that guy. He's a mensch. Not only do I love him for all that he does for us and for his really cool knives and knife design, but he's just a nice guy. I really enjoy talking with him. Yeah, I like anyone who can be totally serious and then totally comical in the next turn. And I think that's Doug Ritter. And he is devoted, man. He is devoted. He's devoted his life to it. So I really appreciate that. It looks like tonight I'm going to be knife fighting myself. I really love it. Love it if one of you who should be pressing the like button if you haven't already would join. Just come on to the knifejunkie.com/join and let's have a knife fight. It's PM2 versus 940. Okay? Two fidgety EDC knives that I can't stand. Let's do this. I'm just kidding that I can't stand. I have a PM2 and I like it just fine. 940 I had also ended up selling it for something else and haven't really missed it. Have not really missed it. So who wants to perhaps wait, who was it who was carrying the 940-1 out there? I can't remember, with carbon fiber handle. Who was that? Press the like, says Hag. Yes, press like. Do it now. Please. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. PM2 versus 940. Anyone? Anyone at all? Dang, I really want to call in. I have both. Do it. You don't have to call in. You just go to the knifejunkie.com/join and aim the camera at yourself. I'll get to meet you. We'll have a five minutes. It's all you need. 5 minutes. We'll knife fight and it'll be over. And it's a funny thing. They say the person who wins the knife fight is the guy who dies last. So there you have it. All right. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Should I wait or should I just start going? Be right on, says that fellow there. All right, John. Oh man, John's a tough one. I believe I have knife fought John, and he's no wilting lily, as they say. He's gonna take me to task here. I think I'm gonna have to decide which one to take on. Not that I don't feel like you shouldn't be able to argue for either side. I mean, that's the whole point of debate. That's what I tell my girls. You should be able to argue for either side with your strongest argument. I know the winner, says Hag. Okay, it's John, right? I'm guessing. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm a winner too. That's what I tell myself every morning. My morning affirmations in the mirror. You're a winner. Even if you have to fight Doug Ritter in a knife fight, you're still a winner. Even though you appear to be a loser, and even though you feel like a loser, don't worry, you're still a winner. So as we wait for John to come on and join the knife fight, let me show these off real quickly. I got these from Peter, the guy who dies last. Sounds like the end of Robin and Marianne. Robin and Marianne. Hope that doesn't spoil it for you. Ooh, what's this? Robin and Marianne. Oh, is this a show about Robin Hood or something? I don't know this one. But I think you just dropped a grenade in the room. And I'm hearing my voice echo back. Oh, that was JN. Cool, man. Thanks for coming on, JN.
I didn't mean to swipe anyone's spot. I was saying, okay, I'm in the
No, you didn't swipe anyone's spot. And if John comes on to join you, I'll pit the two of you against one another.
3-way knife fight.
Well, no. I'll just stand back and watch you guys go at it.
I need to find a place to put this down. This is going to get silly if I keep moving around.
JN, it's good to see you in person again.
Thank you. It's fun to be here, I guess. This is the second time I've ever been involved with.
Yeah. I remember you came on and showed that super cool old clip point blade that you got, I think, from your father's effects or something. Do you remember that?
It was my granddad's
granddad's.
old Wolstenholme and Sons 5-inch Bowie with the stag handles and the brass guard.
Yeah, that was nice. James said he sold his PM2 and he's never had a bench made. I like a man with a code, and I'll take your Hogue Ritter instead. I am with you 100%, James. Benchmade is a stalwart company, and I appreciate them. But yeah, I think Hogue does it better. Gotta say. Michael says hi to you, JN, and JN.
I'm trying to get my.
Yeah, so he sold his PM2, and that, I guess that goes to show how he feels about the PM2 too. And I got you. Oh, we have John, that fellow there. How's it going, John? You look like right now. You look like a piece of G Carta. Because
I feel like it sometimes.
Your screen is.
Yeah, can't sort my life out. There we go. Nearly getting there. Stand by.
Man, it's been a night of connection issues, I gotta say. Excuse me. Yo, Knife Nerds, says Chicago 23. Good to have you here, Chicago. Always a pleasure. It's been a few weeks. Have the 940, don't own the Spyderco yet, says Michael Morgan. 940, the original reverse Tanto. Throwing up the quotes, of course. So we have JN, and I think in the green room we have John. And JN, since you're here first, I will let you choose a side. Do you want to knife fight in the name of the paramilitary 2 by Spyderco, or do you want to knife fight in the name of the 940 by Benchmade?
See, I was a Spyderco guy before I was a Benchmade guy, so I want to go with the 940 because the PM2 is not my favorite Spyderco.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good enough for me. And that's going to have to be good enough for John when he gets back on. So what are you carrying today, JN? I know you mentioned it before, but I forgot.
Oh, I had my 20 CV DLT Delica.
Oh, nice.
I had my S90V Native Chief.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
This is the first Benchmade I ever had. This is my original Freak, which has a huge place in my heart. Minimalist warning.
The Persian. Oh, the warning. Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't forthcoming about it at the time, but I had my G10 20CV Griptilian.
That is probably the best Griptilian. Best meaning my favorite, with the Spidey hole and the worn clip blade.
I agree. It's the only one that I would pay less than $300 for. Like, I don't know about the carbon fiber stuff and all. And I got the Obake, but I'm not going to stand up and grab that out. You can all just trust me, it's there.
The Obake. Nice. I like this.
That's just a fun knife to have. You literally forget it's there. I mean, okay, literally I forget it's there.
Kepmuk says, no Eldris? Kepmuk Nesthart was saying, no Eldris?
You know, honestly, I forget about it. It's
Dude.
right there.
All right, so
It's like I didn't mention my shoes either, but I'm wearing those.
All right, yeah, point well taken. So you're carrying 5 knives today. What kind of cutting did you do?
Not enough. A little bit in the garden. I didn't use the Obake. I used the Eldris. I used the Native Chief for cardboard box. I used the Griptilian for some more cardboard boxes. I didn't use the Delica for anything. And I didn't use the Freak for anything either. But they were there in case I needed them.
I was just going to say, they were there. All right, so Jim, how are we
You
doing?
got to be task appropriate.
Oh yeah, Jim, how's that fellow there? Is he? Oh, he's working on it. Gotcha. Still squiggly lines. Oh, I'll be damned.
That's weird.
That is weird. Doesn't mean you can't have a debate, but I'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one of each here, so I could just debate myself. See, my problem with the PM2 is, well, one's theoretical, or and the other one's personally practical. I'm not that great at some of the compression lock action sometimes, depending on the handle. Like my Kapara, my DLT Kapara, I have to be real careful when I'm closing that, because otherwise it'll jump out of my hand because it's contoured and smooth.
Right. You need a bit of that.
The DLT PM2 is, where's my camera? It's nice enough because it's got some texture, but the ease of the 940, one-handed.
Okay. Save it for the mat. Save it for the ring.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want, because you don't want to release your secrets yet.
Well, I don't know if I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to be in it.
I'm sorry. Merkin Muffley said that Native Chief is an awesome blade, and I would agree with him. I always thought they needed to elongate the Native. They made the Native Chief. I bought it, sold it, and now I wish I never got rid of it. But maybe this is an opportunity to upgrade. Yeah. What a great knife.
And I'm a large person, I'm 6'4", and I have, not smaller than my proportions hands. And this thing is almost too big for my hands. Like you gotta find a spot to really, like there's an inch sticking out if you add up the front and the back. If I grab it in the middle, obviously, like you need that for some stuff, but boy, when I'm choked up on it, feels like there's a lot back there that I'm not using. I guess maybe that's for
All right, John,
bludgeoning.
John, we got you in. We got you in
All
the
right.
feed. You're
Fantastic.
squiggly. You're squiggly, but we're just gonna use your word anyway.
All right.
Wow, I can't debate that. That's like debating the magical. Freaking Yellow Submarine. Beatles. Debating.
Yeah.
Hey, John, how you doing, man?
Keeping busy yourself.
What's that?
Keeping busy.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Before we get going, Hag90 says, Knife Junkie, I would like to see a review on the Ronin Shoto by Spartan. Is that that's the karambit, right? That's a cool looking karambit. I would, if I had it, I would do it. So maybe I'll see if I can get my hands on one, if I know there's an audience for it. I don't know. Excuse me. All right, guys. So we have JN who's going to be debating on the side of the 940, which, John, that means you, sir, are debating on the side of the PM2.
All right.
Yes, Michael, debating a Mexican blanket. Yes, sir. All righty. So let's do a little. Wait, do I have a coin? Damn it! I don't even have. Oh, okay, we're gonna flip a coaster, an American Tomahawk coaster, and this is heads and this is tails. So Mexican blanket, call it. Heads it is. It landed with the Tomahawk up. So you get to choose whether you go first or last for the PM2. You'll go last? Okay.
Yep.
All right, JN. Excuse me. Sorry about that. JN, are you ready? Hey, Hollywood Tactical, good to have you.
940.
Okay, I'm going to give you a minute and a half, starting in 5, 4, 3.
All right, if you've got two choices, if you're choosing between the PM2 and the 940, the 940 is going to be a better overall choice for a random person because of ambidextrous, because of medium size, narrow blade, very gets into your spaces you need it to get into. Really simple, intuitive closing mechanism, not quite as particular as the PM2. The blade is a little bit sturdier IMHO. It's got the crafty little swedge in the middle that thickens back out at the tip. It's got a little bit of power behind it. I'm not going to call it a pry bar. I'm not going to say that anyone should pry with it, but it's what am I trying to say? It's
Say it in 10 seconds.
better on average all around. Yeah, that's what I got.
All right.
I probably should have thought a little harder, but
time. No. Hey, these are. That's the thing about these. We spring them on you, and excellent job. That was a minute and a half.
Still flaunting my
by
minimal
JN
stuff.
for the 940. Now, we have John, that fellow there, ready to debate for the PM2. And are you ready, John?
All set.
All right, stand by. 5, 4, 3.
Okay. Something about that thin handle, that thin profile for the 940. It's fantastic and convenient in the pocket. I'll give you that. But in the grip, it's not going to fill out your hand. You go to twist on that, that's going to roll on you. It's just not as sturdy a grip. You want to talk about price? You're gonna win off on the PM2. You have your variations are more particular to whomever you are. You can choose. The aftermarket options are much further as well with the PM2 than they are with the 940. The blade profile, although convenient, and yes, you can dig into places. It's not awkward. It's got a nice robust tip for the 940. However, that PM2, that's going to be your slicer. The profile is perfect for cutting and slicing. You're never going to have any hangups. It comes to a more acute angle, so you're going to have an easier time cutting through material. It looks like a knife. It's supposed to be a knife. It's got their basic hand profile for nearly any hand. And the PM2 has many, just like the variations in aftermarket products. If that's too big for you, you have options of the same style in the PM3. And I'll leave it at that.
Excellent. You had 7 more seconds to prove your point even further, but a great job by both of you guys. I don't think you needed them. Yeah, very well done. And all of that without actually seeing your face. It's like Charlie's Angels. Patina says that blanket. Patina says that blanket makes a good point. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. So, all right, everybody. As we're wrapping here, who won? Oh, and Hollywood Tactical says 940 is grossly overpriced. So let's find out your opinions. What do you like better? Who do you think won that debate, or I should say, which knife do you think wins that debate? It is well done, gentlemen, says Patina Turner.
Thanks,
Patina. It is a question for the ages. Two PM2 all day, says North Code. They are two very, very extremely popular knives. Probably two of the knives that really launched the YouTube knife world. I mean, in a way, they're bedrock knives. Hag says, great fight. PM2 wins, but I don't like it.
I've owned both. I agree. I agree. The 940 is awesome, and it's a fun knife to own. It's a good convenient knife. I just doesn't have the variation, and you're right. The price is just high.
And
I agree. I mean, I own one 940, and I own two PM2s, but I own also two Native Chiefs, a Tenacious. So I agree about the style and the variations and all that. I feel like I gotta say that I was picking 940 to be out of my element and see what I could come up with. Also, because I haven't gotten an out in a while. So
well, that's a healthy approach. I mean, challenging yourself. I agree with Oregon Knife Guy. He says the PM2 beats the 940, just a better cutter and better ergos. But the superficial side of me says the 940 looks better, even though I think they're both incredibly awkward designs. If I'm going to be totally honest, I don't think. I think both of them are not graceful looking, but I would say the 940 might win on a slender margin. Chris says like the 940 more now, but just got that one recently. Okay.
Yeah, I ended up selling my 940, and then my PM2 my wife stole and keeps in the kitchen drawer with the rolling pins and such. So she says it's putting up her cilantro. So there's that.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Hollywood Tactical says 940 is yesterday's PM2. LOL. That's funny, man. You know what? For as much as I dislike, well, I shouldn't say dislike, but for as much as I'm not a huge fan of the 940, I like the Osborne designs, and I really like the Contigo, man. That's like the big, the grown up brother. That's the 940 that's been training with weights and a heavy bag for a few years. You know, Hag says PM2 has an odd angle for me, but it's like that for firearm grips as well. I see. Oh, Hag, maybe it's your hand, Hag. No, I'm just kidding. Because the PM2 fits everybody's hand. I mean, you will hear that, and it's true. It does really. It feels better than it looks. It cuts better than it looks. We just have to decide what's more important. Is it looks, or is it, performance? We've got a pooch and a Mexican blanket here. All right, guys. So thank you both for coming on.
The blanket. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I love it. You know, every week I beg people to come on and join, and it's always a real treat when people do. So that Marcus Williamson was a little difficult today just because of the connection was poor. But I really look forward to having him back on the show and talking with him, sometime soon. Hollywood Tactical says the PM2 is hideously ugly. Show it's all about function, ergos, and blade geometry. Yeah, that is what it's all about. Hideously ugly might taking it one step further than I would take it, but I would say, yeah, it's a little awkward. It's a little awkward. It's sort of an adolescent whose voice is still changing.
Hey, Bob. Before you break, did you ever hear of H&B Forge up in Deadwood area?
H&B Forge? No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to send you some pictures. I have a hawk of theirs that I've had for a number of years, but the blank keeps it.
Is it H&B Forge?
It is.
Okay. All right, and you said in the Deadwood area. Where's that?
Dakota, up by what's it called? Mount Rushmore.
Oh, okay. I was there when I was 10 years old.
Black Hills area, yeah.
Is that where you are right now, John? Are you up in that area?
No. I was just thinking back on hawks, and I brought one on, but my Mexican blanket camera isn't going. But I'll send you.
I'll catch in the comments. This guy actually wants to go out, so.
All right,
thanks for having me on, but this guy needs to go out.
I hear you, man.
See you guys in the comments.
All right. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it.
Right on. Talk to you soon.
All right. There he goes. JN and his pooch who needs a walk. And someone was just in the comments saying they liked the rawness of the knife fight, and I agree. Isn't that a song, Deadwood, North Dakota? Not sure, but I think it was an HBO show, right? Deadwood. That was about must have been about.
Great show.
Yeah, that's one I've actually been looking to see. I know it's like 15 years old at this point, but I'm almost behind the times. All right, John, thanks for showing up. I'd love it if you came back on maybe next week.
Yeah, I'll see you next week.
See if we can work out the thing and actually see each other face to face. That'd be awesome. But again, thanks for the loaner, Emerson. It was super awesome.
Yeah, too easy.
Yeah. All right. So I'm putting up my review of it either Friday, tomorrow, or Saturday. So
cool.
For what it's worth, you'll see my take on it.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, John. Thanks. Take care. And thank you for watching Thursday Night Knives. It's always a pleasure. Make sure that you come back on Sunday and check out episode 239. Is it, Jim? Will it be 239? See what we're 240 with Marianne Halpern of Three Rivers Manufacturing. We had a great conversation. She's a great person. And oh God, who doesn't love Three Rivers Manufacturing and what they do up there in Massachusetts? So she will be on the show. And then also check out Wednesday for the midweek supplemental, which I'll be talking about pick haul style knives. So I'm very excited about that. And then, of course, Saturday, August 21st will be the Bob and Jim Knife Junkie birthday bash. Please tune into that. And we'll be here giving away stuff and just having fun and talking knives. So for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, a very, very happy birthday to you, sir. I am Bob DeMarco saying, don't take dull for an answer.